Welcome to my awesome avatar de-escalation training. Every one of us will meet an angry customer at some point. It's not if, it's when. So let's settle one thing before it ever happens. Our goal is not to win. It's not to prove we were right. Our goal is to lower the temperature, protect everyone's experience, and get the person back to okay. The moment we're trying to win, we've already lost. Let's start with what anger even is. Anger is what people feel when they sense an injustice, a gap between what they believe they deserved and what they actually got. Someone showed up expecting a certain level of care, of service, of this place has it together, and that expectation didn't get met. Their mind files that gap as unfair, and what comes out of unfair is anger. Once we see that, we stop taking it personally, and we see that there is simply a gap that needs to be closed and get to work. There are two kinds, and reading which one we're facing changes everything. Sometimes it's specific. This place wronged me. They were charged twice. The lesson they paid for got canceled, and nobody told them. Something real happened, and it's about us. Other times it's general, and this is the one to watch for. Someone walks in already carrying a hard life. They're in pain, stretched thin. They spent the last of their gas money to get their kid here. And this is just one more thing on a very long day. Their anger is real, but it's bigger than whatever's in front of us. We didn't cause it. We're just the ones standing there when it finally spills over. Most of the time, it isn't really about us. Read which kind it is, and we'll know how much of it to carry. Sometimes we did cause it, and we need to be honest about how. For example, we made people wait when there was a faster way. We bounced them person to person, chasing an answer and burning their time. We were incompetent, and it cost them. The thing they showed up for doesn't work, or a schedule changed, and the message never reached them, or the place just isn't up to par, not clean. Something feels unsafe. Any one of those opens the gap. Now, how we respond, and here's the part people miss, the first move isn't what we say, it's how we show up. Anger feeds on mirrors. If we match their volume, they get louder. So we go the other way. We slow down. We drop our voice a little below theirs, and they'll follow us down. Open posture, hands where they can see them, no crossed arms, no finger pointing. We give them room. Nobody calms down feeling cornered, and we let them get it all out before we say a word. Interrupting an angry person only proves they haven't been heard yet. Calm is contagious. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Once they've been heard, we close the gap. And it's three moves. We acknowledge it. You're right. That wait was too long. We apologize, and we mean it because we do. And we promise to make it right quickly. Then we actually do it. That's most of de escalation right there. People don't need us to be perfect. They need to be heard, and they need to believe we're going to fix it. Acknowledge, apologize, make it right. And just as important, a few things we never say because they're gasoline. Calm down. Nobody in the history of the world has ever calmed down because they were told to. That's just our policy. There's nothing I can do. You need to, every one of those widens the gap we're trying to close. If it sounds dismissive, don't say it. But what if it is our policy? Don't mention policies. Policies are pieces of paper, and frankly, the customer doesn't care about when it impacts them negatively. Always say the logical, protective, ethical, legal reason if you're able. And never forget who you work for. You work for Hope Homes. Your job is to build Hope Homes. So do not ever throw the organization, the mission, or its leadership under the bus to the customers. Well, I agree, but I just work here. If that's the best you've got to represent this organization, you should go work at whatever government run, miserable customer service experience place comes to mind. What we do to fund the care of the most vulnerable children in our own city and around the world is way too important to have anyone here who carries that kind of I don't care vibe. What we do to make it possible for a single mother who is exhausted after working all day, but has wound up energized kids, and yet was never able to afford to take them to get that energy out at a place like this until now is way too important for that kind of I don't care vibe. You can say with confidence at all times, we, this entire team, are committed to serving this community with the highest degree of care and excellence we are possibly able to do. One hard line, no exceptions. We do not argue with someone in a public part of the facility where others can hear it. It's unprofessional. And worse, it robs every other guest of their experience. This is their happy place. The family on the next bench came to relax and enjoy, not to watch a standoff at the front desk. Protect the room. And if our first attempts aren't landing, they're still hot, still climbing, we don't dig in and we don't brush them off. We do two things out loud where they can hear it. I hear you, and I am committed to helping you get this resolved. Then we move them out of the public space into a private room, and we bring in someone in higher management to sit with them out of the public eye. Heard, private, and face to face with someone who has the authority to fix it, that combination settles almost anyone. But let's be clear about something because we work around kids and families. Talking someone down and keeping people safe are two different jobs. The moment anger turns into a threat, they're threatening to hurt someone, getting physical, or they simply will not settle no matter what we do. De escalation is over and safety takes over. We never put our hands on them. We never block their exit, always leave them a way out and keep one for ourselves. We don't let ourselves get cornered. We get a manager and backup right away. And if anyone's safety is on the line, we call 911. No property, no complaint, no membership is worth someone getting hurt. When in doubt, get help. And when it's over, we're not quite done. Tell your supervisor and write it down an incident report, same shift while it's fresh. Even the ones that ended fine. We do this because the patterns only show up on paper. If the same problem is making people angry over and over, the report is how we find it and fix the cause, not just the moment. So here's the whole thing in one breath. Anger is a gap between what someone expected and what they got. Read whether it's about us or about their day. Show up calm. Be the thermostat. If it's ours, own it. Acknowledge, apologize, make it right fast. Never argue where others can hear. If it's not working, tell them you hear them and get them private with someone who can help. If it ever turns into a threat, stop de escalating and keep everyone safe. And write it down after. That's how we turn a guest's worst moment into the reason they trust us.